Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. About, let's say about 8 to 9 topics, and with the subtopics as well. Well, let me enumerate them for you. Let's arrange this like this. The first one, satellite images emerge showing damaged Sudzha gas station in Russia's Kursk Oblast. Remember Nord Stream 1, 2 pipelines? All right, they were blown up by the same guys who want to destroy Russia's, they say, ability to fight the war. It's not that. They try to, not the Ukrainians, they try to eliminate competition. That's what it is. But they love capitalism. So that's the first one. The other one, we have the British intelligence that I trust so much. Publishes satellite images of destroyed Bakhmut, Artemovsk, the Russian. I will show you some pictures and I will show you where that is located. Third article or topic, we find out that now businesses are not into accepting money regardless their sexual orientation or their ideas. No. They actually have certain kind of standards, certain kind of values. Did you know that? Which is Google, shows us that it doesn't want the Russian money or the advertisers in Russia. No, because it tries to change something in Russia. Interference? I think so. Google fully disables monetization in Russia. Remember when you guys, I was not here at that time, were baboons when you were told by the system operatives, the media, the mainstream media at that time, that, you know, if I am a business owner, I don't care whose money I take, they're all green, regardless if they're, you know, straight or this or that. No, so I don't care. Now, it seems like the businesses care if the Russian government is bad or not, and therefore they punish the Russian people. So they don't want the Russian people's money or the businesses that would invest in, let's say, Google through monetization, because their money is not green all of a sudden. Values? No. Preferential, situational values, and those are not values. Next one. Germany authorizes Ukraine to use weapons at its discretion. Surprise here? No. I do this just to confirm something to you that I've been saying for so much time. For a long time. These guys will do everything they will do in order to destroy those guys. Those guys are the Russians. And they say, remember, it was the mountain slope, how do you call it, the model that I talked about. You just start slow and then you end up fast to the end. All these steps were pre-approved, pre-designed, pre-planned. It was just how they will the baboons out there to accept them. They couldn't come from the very beginning and say, let's say the 24th of or 25th of February 2022, and let's say your government, in the United States of America, Germany, Great Britain, and so on, would come and tell you, we're going to send F-16s to fight the Russians in Ukraine. If you would get that, or tanks, or things like this, or we send the information and all, you would say, no, whoa, too fast. Even the baboons who eat each other's fleas will be like, Or remember that movie that I failed to mention it for so long, I Am Legend, remember? With Will Smith. Well, go and watch the movie. In that movie, there were some zombies who were standing over there, and if they heard some noise, they were like, and they would go and check the noise where it comes from. These are us. This is us. You know, they think we're just working, making money for our families to survive and so on. We don't have time over there. But if we hear a noise like F-16s to Ukraine, even the baboons of the baboons will be like, say what? Well, that's why they have the mountain slope, as I call it, model. Next one. We have another article from Syria. Syria, the legitimate government of Syria, if you remember, I will talk like Kamala Harris, is a country, sovereign independent country with its own government, elected by the people or not, but that's their business. They told the occupiers, the allies, to get out of their country. Why? because they are over there uninvited. They illegally occupy a country. Remember, Ukraine's sovereignty should be defended, but Syria's sovereignty, well, we it for them. So we're going to talk about that one. Then we have about Serbia. Serbia is waiting to join the big club of the very good. Not the Al Capone club, which I said many times before. You have to make a choice now. When you see that the new club that's forming right now did not collapse yet under the pressure of Al Capone and its vassal states, its plantation, then you say, okay, it's safe for me to join them for protection than being by Al Capone and some of their little weasels, Great Britain, Germany, France mainly. So, Serbia expects official invitation to BRICS summit in coming days. Oh. All right. Remember that Zen Kwan, the sound of a one hand clapping or smack, smack, smack. All right, basically, we solved the Kwan. Serbian anti-mining protesters want coup. Remember, 23,000 or 27,000 in Belgrade, and not only they say that we want the environment, we save the environment, but are actually maneuvered from the same guys who organized the, and not only things add the Maidan revolution and protests, and they changed the legitimate government of Viktor Yanukovych, democratically elected. Well, we have here Putin, Vladimir Putin, the president of the Russian Federation, says no talks with Kiev after attack on civilians. So no more negotiations. Well, as I said in a video about 2 days or 3 days ago when these guys were advancing in Kursk area, these guys, the Russians, could activate their nuclear weapons use doctrine. They will use it eventually. They know it, but these guys are still pushing. And the last article, we find out that whomever opposes or not supports Ukraine, according to the Serbian Deputy Prime Minister, they get Mr. Prime Minister of Slovakia's Robert Fico's fate, which is, this is what he claims. So let's go and start with the first article, right there. Let me put my goggles. Satellite images emerge showing damaged Sudzha gas station in Russia's Kursk Oblast. The Russians said that the guys who are attacking the gas stations and the oil pipelines are the same guys who attacked Nord Stream 1 and Nord Stream 2 pipelines in the Baltic Sea, or wherever they are, right? That's where they are, in between, I mean, Baltic Sea, between what? Denmark, Sweden, and Germany. Satellite images have emerged showing destruction at the Sudzha gas metering station in Russia's Kursk Oblast. This is eliminating competition in the capitalist free market that we like when we win. The same with democracy. These guys, when they win, we all like to win. I mean, if someone would not like to win, that would be called a masochist, right? You have to like to win. The problem is, if you follow the rules, if the other side followed the rules, and you lose because the other one was better than you, you don't like that because you lost. But you say, well, this was better than I. These were the rules. You have to have some certain kind of principles. And say, these guys have a better product than I. So what can I do? I can either improve and make my product better and maybe cheaper, or that more valuable or much better and higher price a little bit than the competition. And the customer will obviously buy mine if I have the right advertising company with me. Let's scratch here, not the balls, the calves. Anyway, and the other side will say, oh, I will do the same thing. Or you do this. You know what? I'm not going to do that. I'm going to go to that factory's, to the plant, and I'm going to burn it. Or that's another one. And that means I eliminate the competition through armed. Or if I go to the government and I say, the government, can you please, in my name, campaign donation, can you just ban that company that is better than I? And they say, oh yeah. And they're going to go and say, hey, are you going to give us more than this guy gave us? And they say, no, we are for free market and competition. Banned, illegal. So the same thing happened in Europe with the Russian cheap gas. Now Europe buys liquefied natural gas at 3 to 4 times premium price from what? from United States of America. Why? Because they said, don't let yourselves be exposed to Russian blackmail with cheap resources. Okay, but now you expose yourself to blackmail, not to cheap resources, but with expensive premium resources from the guy who owns you and has military troops in your country to protect you from the boogeyman. And the baboons are like, or, ooh, exactly, my friends. So, the anal, because this is anal. Analysts of the images indicate that some of the damage appeared between 9 and 10 of August and some between 10 and 11 of August. The photo dated 11 August shows that one of the station's administrative buildings was nearly completely destroyed along with the site where measuring equipment was installed. All right, but there's no destabilization of any gas supply to anybody. Why? Because we're going to come and help you at premium price. Here, Ukrinform, British intelligence publishes satellite images showing destruction of Bakhmut. Awful, awful, awful. I have 2 points. First, British intelligence, where were Saddam Hussein's weapons of mass destruction? No, okay, off, out. That's the first one. The second one, I don't like when these guys say, well, look what the Russians did to our cities. Why? Because our military was in the city. Why? Defending the city. Right there. Don't you think that's a consequence? So I'm not saying, oh, the Ukrainians are responsible. Partly, if you don't like that, why don't you go and negotiate? Because the Ukrainians are owned by the guys in charge of Ukraine, which are the Steins, and the Steins are also owned by other financial interests. Steins, a little bit northwest, across the Atlantic towards the New York. All right, here, UK intelligence releases satellite images showing Bakhmut destroyed by Russia. Remember, during the Second World War, Paris was not destroyed by the evil Nazis. I mean, those were evil, man. They didn't. Why? Because Paris, the guys over there said, you know what? We say Paris is a decree, whatever you want to call it, designate Paris as an open city. And those evil guys who committed the most crimes in the world, not in the name of that. No. They did not destroy Paris. They were somehow, and there's some statements after, oh, they wanted to do it, Hitler, when they lost, and they were. The fact is, it didn't happen. So, you want to have a Paris? There it is. You can fight them in a ring. But not like that. You go behind mommy and you punch, or you keep your child in front of you and you punch, and when he punches you, you put, whoop, the child here, bone gets knocked out and say, everybody, where the fuck were you fighting? Put the child over there, get an ass kicking, or talk before you will have an ass kicking. And you are partly responsible for that. You are. Next, that's a consequence that you know. What do you think Russians, the evil Russians, will just bypass Bakhmut and go towards what? They are bad, as you say. And Putin is a madman, but he's not using nuclear weapons somehow. Remember, a madman, a crazy guy, doesn't know the difference between good and bad. Somehow this Putin is just holding his horses with the nuclear weapons. Somehow. Here, this is, remember, their money is also green. There you have it. Google fully disables monetization in Russia. Why? To punish the Russian people so they have an uprising against their leader. So why? They are demonetizing. Monetization. So demonetization. So that was garbage then. This is reality. So that's situational values, which they can do, you know what. The Google AdSense context advertising service will cease its operation in the Russian internet and disable accounts of Russian users. It's not that the evil dictator Putin stops that, no, it's the free market oriented Google that does that over there. Why? It seems like their money is not green. We will deactivate, and I'm quoting the Moscow Times, these are weasels. We will deactivate all AdSense accounts which have Russia as their location. This means that it will be impossible to receive income from monetization via such accounts, the statement by Google payment team says. Good job. What does that mean? That means that they will try to stifle the viewership and the creation of videos by the Russian bloggers that we have to contain their free speech because they are propagandists, they are liars, they are big, and that is a private company who decide that. But hey, there's no internal interference in Russia's internal affairs. No, whatsoever. Yeah, niet. Next one. Here we have these baboons here. This comes from RBC Ukraine. Germany authorizes Ukraine to use weapons at its discretion. Well, I initially found this and this. Let me just go on this and this. On Ukraine forum, the same thing, but somehow when I checked that out, tried to find that, I found only this. Nevertheless, the thing is, these guys will do whatever they said they will do or they said they will not do. That's why I'm waiting for the, how do you call it, the long-range missiles, the German long-range missiles Taurus, to be used by the Ukrainians if they're not used at the moment, but these guys don't report on that. The Russians, if they report, you're not going to hear it in Europe because some Russian media is banned over there. Why? They protect you. They, who's they? Fellow human beings. Why? Mommy and daddy. Because you're a child that you need protection because you have the experts over there. They're going to keep you safe. Is this kindergarten? Worse than that. All right, let's move on. Ukraine forum. Bundestag Defense Committee Chief. Kursk operation lays basis for talks with Putin's successor. So what they are pushing here, and I'm going to show you one sentence right here. Right there. The move, and I'm quoting, the move shows the Russian population, that their dictator, Putin, has no control of anything. Anything. Got that? So this is what they say. They say the attacks on Kursk shows that Putin has no control of anything, not even his cock, right? Nothing. Now, I don't know about you, my friends, but when I was in the grade school, I think it was second grade, I remember my teacher, his name is Rada, we call him Tovarishu Rada, he used to use diagrams of different colors. There were some different colored, how do you call that, wires, red and green and whatever. They used to slap us over, hit us over the palms if we were not with those wires. Yes, exactly. 10, 10, 5, 5, 20, 20. It didn't matter. Romania at that time. But none of us had bipolar. None of us had ADHD and anything like that. I think he cured us. You don't have attention deficit? Come over here, mofo. It's bang, bang, bang. Cured. Another one. So what happened here? The diagrams. He showed us the two diagrams, left and right, or right and left, how we look at it. Let's say the red and the blue. The red is a group of things belonging to A, and this one is the totality of groups of things belonged or being membership in the B. Now, this is all, and this is all. They don't touch, they don't intersect, these two diagrams, they don't intersect. Right? Now, if they're like this is everything here is nothing here. Everything that's here, it's nothing here. Now, if you bring this together, I don't know, if you bring them together and you intersect them a little bit, you have everything that's there, it's some here because they intersect. So this is where they are inside. So there's nothing, that means zero. These guys say anything, has no control over anything. Who the hell wrote this article? Let's see his or her name. We don't have a name, obviously, but nevertheless, it's from Ukraine forum. Therefore, that person did not pass the second grade Romania, communist Romania, second grade. Why? Do you think that Putin doesn't control anything or some? Now, this is the level of the baboonish reporting to the baboons themselves. Remember, anytime you go and have a speech, you try to package your speech in such a way that you win certain. You can't win them all, but you kind of know where you're going. If you go to a factory, you're not going to talk about certain theorems, mathematical theorems, or I don't know, some physics law. Not because they're baboons or anything, but most likely they don't want to know about that. They don't know about it. It's too hard. They want something clearer. Now, if you go in a different kind of environment, you use a different kind of language. So you package it the way you want. So the fact that this guy, either he's a baboon who wrote this article, or he packages in such a way for the baboons. And remember, oh, wait, that was the German guy. My bad, I take that back. Right here is Markus Faber. This is the guy, chair of the defense committee. So this is the chair. I'm sorry, Ukraine Forum. So Markus Faber, chair of the defense committee in the German Bundestag, the parliament, reported on this on social media, and he noted that offensive against invasion Kursk was going better than expected. So he says that. So this German, that's why I said Germany lost itself after 1945 when its balls were snipped with big scissors. That's what happened. Now they have baboons who are immediately feeling guilty for nothing they should be guilty of, but they are. Why? Because of the media, because of the guys that own their country, tell them so. Since infancy, you own us every day and from now and forever. All right, be guilty. Be guilty only in relation to us. Not with the Russians. No, oy vey. No. Go and get the Russians. Have no guilt towards the Russians, but towards us? Yes. You know why? Because we are very ethical and are moral than you. Why? We never committed anything that you did. Ask those guys, the Amaleeks, Kamaleeks, Kapoklips, in the first books of the Torah. The Torah. You find out Moses. Well, hey, Emil, you're a bad dude now. Always. All right, let's see what's going on here. Sputnik. Syria to U.S. occupation forces. Get out. Why? Remember, Syria has a legitimate government recognized at the United Nations. Now, the U.S. troops are illegally occupying their territory, sucking their, not that one, but sucking their oil from the northeastern part of their country. And Syria says, get the hell out. No, we're going to make sure we destabilize you. And when there's going to be dry, you might like it dry, and we're going to leave never. U.S. ground troops began trickling into Syria in November 2015. How? Invasion. 2 months after Russia kicked off an air campaign targeting foreign-backed terrorists attempting to topple the Syrian government. They were at the invitation of the legitimate government of Syria. The U.S. forces were not, or anybody else. Iran was also invited. Washington initially claimed that the deployments were meant to help fight terror. Yeah, but don't you think that if my neighbor wants to fight terror in my house, should ask me first? Let's say tomorrow, a country like, let's say, I'm just giving you, I don't know, Hungary, would like to fight crime in the United States of America. Do you think that they just come and parachute their people here and start fighting crime in Detroit or in Chicago? Help you not being invited, and they deploy troops, and in the meantime, I know, they suck some water from the Great Lakes, ship them to Hungary, and then sell it. Do you think that's acceptable? You know exactly what I'm talking about. So that's exactly what should what happens here. So it was a cat. Happens here, but somehow we are accepting that. Why? Because we are not honest. We are not honest. When I talk about we, I'm talking about those guys in government and many, how do you call it, supporters who are civilians who say, oh, cheap oil, them up. I remember after September 11, a lot of people said, we should bomb Iraq and this and that and Iran and flatten everything out and put over there a gas station with going to pump oil and we're going to get it for us. Well, if you are at it like that, do it, but you're not doing it. Why? Who owns you? Right? So they didn't do it. It's too late now? No, it's not too late. But somehow, they immediately thought about their own little interest. The same here. Cheap gas? I don't care, man. Do it. Right? Syria Foreign Ministry has reiterated its call on the U.S. to end its, and I'm quoting, blatant violation of Syria's sovereignty. That's 100% true. Unity and territorial integrity, end quote. 100% accurate representation of what's going on over there. And its support for the separatist Syrian Democratic Forces, militias, and immediately withdraw its troops. So that is, let's say tomorrow you have La Raza. I know about it. La Raza, let's say in New Mexico or in California. And La Raza said, you know what? We're good, man. We want to have the Azlan. All right? If you don't know these terms, go and check them out. And then all of a sudden, you know, the Russians help them. Bring them military support and all that, train them, all this. La Raza for the goal of having Aslan, which is taking part of the United States of America, and creating a new country, or maybe getting together with Mexico, let's say. And the Russians and the Chinese do that. And the Americans should be, I'm okay, because they support those guys. You understand? No. All right, move on then. All right. Military aircraft belonging to American forces have provided support for the SDF militia by launching multiple raids targeting innocent civilians, defending their families, villages, and property. You don't have to even bring that up. You have nothing to do in my property, on my property, in my country. You have nothing. But the problem is, it's the rules-based world order the Americans are talking about, which is, I do what... No, these are the rules that I'm not going to tell you which they are, but I do whatever I want, and when you do something I don't like, I will say, you violated the world, rule-based world order. The rule is the one that I can break whenever I want, but you cannot. Why? Because you have to... All right, let's move on. I got, what, about 3 more or so? I'm not in a hurry. I can stay here hours. Sputnik. Serbia expects official invitation to BRICS summit in coming days. They are joining this. As I said at the beginning of this garbage in Ukraine, you're going to have 2 clubs. Why? You have, like in a neighborhood, protection gangs. This gang is having this part of the city, the other gang has that part of the city. Now, when some businesses want to run away from this part of the city, from this gang, they have nowhere to run, because let's say it's only one gang, which is Al Capone. It used to be from 1991 until 2024 or 2023. They were the only guys, the only gang of protection of the neighborhood. And these people got punched in the teeth, kicked in the balls, poked in the eye, and so on. So these guys want another club, another protector is emerging that gives a little bit, I know protection in this case is bad as it is, but gives a better alternative than the one that they already know. You don't do what I want, bam, 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 and you have Serbia, you have Iraq, you have Afghanistan, you have Libya, you have Syria. All these are examples for guys in the neighborhood to see how this guy is working, the Pax Americana. Right? So they say, well, another club, you, boom, they run over there. If they make sure first that the second club cannot be destroyed by the first club, which cannot. In Ukraine, Russia stands tall and is using just one finger, click, 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 to fight these guys. And China joined these guys, and many others joined the BRICS and the Shanghai Cooperation Organization, which are the foundation of the new club, the club of the very good. And these guys are the plantation of Al Capone. So yeah, they will join that, and you have to pick and choose. What's going on over there in Serbia? I tell you right now. Right there, they're trying again. The outside forces and agencies. Serbian anti-mining protesters want coup, not nature protection. Deputy Prime Minister. Now, you can say, well, of course, because it's about them. You don't change a government, a democratically elected government, right, in a coup with this protest. If that would happen in the United States of America, see how you would like it. You would have the army, you have the real people, FBI, CIA, and NSA and others on you, armed. I guarantee you that. Which should not be. You should vote in a system that you need billions of dollars to get elected. Campaign donation, I spoke about that. So remember, this guy can just say, like Ceausescu said in 1989, agenturile străine vor să... Exactly, it's exactly what it was. But that is, Ceausescu said on a televised little speech, that foreign agencies tried to destabilize and destroy Romania. That was true, but we didn't believe him at that point. Why? And we didn't care, because he did a lot of, or at least people around him, the system was bad. So we want them out. We wanted what we were told, democracy, freedom, like we were told it is. And we got out, we got out of Romania, and we started living in those countries that were telling us that democracy and freedom. We realized, yeah, it's better. For some, it's better, and but it's far away from what these guys were parroting when we were in the communist Romania. I'm not decrying the communist Romania. There were good things done in the communist Romania and bad things, as it is here as well. All right, so let's see. Next article, and here it is. Pop. No talks with Kiev after attack on civilians. So the negotiations are off, my friends, are off. So Putin said, no, we're not going to talk anymore. No talks with Kiev after attacks on civilians. The Russian president has condemned Ukraine's indiscriminate strikes and attempts to target nuclear power facilities amid the Kursk incursion. Some people can claim, yeah, but you did the same thing. Well, Russia could have ended this on the 24th of February with 1 or 2 or 3 little nuclear weapons, and there would have been all war crime and all that, but nevertheless, that could have saved some other lives, killed other people and so on. But remember, who wanted to negotiate and who did not want to negotiate. But anyway, why negotiate, you might ask? Because you are at my doorstep and you are not supposed to be here. NATO Defensive Alliance. Remember 1991? Your promise, no inch eastward of NATO. Where are you now? At my doorstep, putting over there air defense systems to do what? My friends. And here we have another article from Serbia, last one. Anyone not supporting Ukraine gets shot. End quote. Serbian Deputy Prime Minister. An assassin could target President Aleksandar Vučić over Belgrade's neutrality on Ukraine, his key political ally has claimed. Serbian President Aleksandar Vučić is risking his life by refusing to back Western nations on the Ukraine conflict, a senior member of his government has claimed. All right, so what do we have here? Where is right here? In an interview with Russia's RIA Novosti, which is a propaganda, state-owned BBC kind of thing, published on Monday, Deputy Prime Minister Alexander Vulin said that Serbian authorities are concerned about the president's safety following attempts on the lives of Slovak Prime Minister Robert Fico and former US President Donald Trump. And I'm quoting, after the attempt on Mr. Fico and later Trump, I told Vučić to be on guard. Well, you can be as much as you can. This is reality. Reality. You have to fight fire with fire sometimes. So, my friends, here it is. This is my last video probably for today. We'll see you tomorrow. If something doesn't come up and say, oh my God, I have to. You know, I have to. Or I have to. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just. See you later.